Gentlemen. I believe we are live. No music, just winging it. Let me know if you could hear me in the audio. You are listening to the Bleedbigblue podcast. My name is Marco. I'm your host. I have my co-host, Tim, and I have my co-host, Ryan. Well, Ryan, you're more of an intern, but, you know.
Yeah.
We're working on these things. Can everyone hear me? How about that question?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you. That's good news.
All right. Hey, we're doing this with no intro, and it's kind of throwing me off a little bit.
It is. If anyone wants to sing the intro, you are more than welcome to.
Welcome to Bleedbigblue podcast.
There you go. What is on your?
Now I feel better.
Now we can all relax. I wanted to just bring up the first question. Can we get to 500 this week? That's the theme. Can we do it?
It's definitely possible.
It's good. It's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough. New Orleans is one of those teams that you don't know who's gonna show up, and that's the problem. And again, we're one of those teams as well. Now, the one nice thing is New Orleans' defense is a little banged up, and they're not really as good as they were last year. And if Eli and the rest of the offense builds upon what they did this past week, then it could be a high-scoring game. You know what, guys? We might score over 30.
We just might.
No, that can't happen. That hasn't happened in how long? How many games? Does anyone have the countdown for that?
I believe 27.
27.
But we just double check.
Stuff. It's Ned with his co-host, the Fan.
What's going on? What?
Oh God.
Ned's in.
Ned's in.
I'm just announcing my entrance along with my fan.
I don't hear the fan.
Up there?
I don't hear the fan, so you're good right now.
Yeah. I also don't hear the fan, but I have a pinned picture on our Discord server of what the fan looks like if anyone wants to take a peek.
It really is my biggest fan.
Literally. So we have New Orleans coming in. Home game. The classic is always true, I think. That New Orleans on the road is not the best. But what's the spread? I think it's 3.5, right? Did it move a little?
3.5. Yeah.
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 3.5 is whatever. I mean, especially when it's at New Orleans, right?
No, it's home. It's home.
No, it is home. It is home. Well, actually, it's pretty sad because we actually get points for being home.
Yeah.
So
you get 3 for being home. So we're not getting respect, which is fine. And New Orleans get way more respect than they should be getting after the games I've seen them play these first 3 weeks. All right. So we should get a little help back with Vernon. Apparently he was taking individual drills today, so that's the first step, and probably get him back on the field for Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know how much burn he's going to get or how effective he will be, but it's something that they have to game plan for at least a little bit.
I didn't hear that. So Vernon is going to play, or is it? I heard he was still weeks off.
No, he was doing individual drills today.
Okay, that's good. I mean, we definitely, that's the one thing that this defense is definitely missing, and I know you guys have seen it, is there's no pass rush.
No.
I mean, we can get the guys, and actually the run defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, it stopped the run.
But
it stopped the run, and if the quarterback's in the way, that's good.
Yep. And but I'm going to tell you right now, Lorenzo Carter's starting to step it up. Connor Barwood, I think, is he's doing well. But if we get Vernon in the rotation with all those guys, I think that's going to help out everybody.
Definitely.
Now, Eli Apple not being there is going to hurt, especially with the offense we're facing this week.
Never thought I'd hear that in my life, but yeah. Apple not being in is going to affect us a lot.
Well, Shermer, I just saw this on CBS Sports. Head coach Pat Shermer suggested that Apple has a chance to play Sunday against the Saints. Art Stapleton of the Virgin Record reports. So there's a possibility we could see him. I don't want them to rush him back, but if he's good to go, man, I'll take it.
And that's why I agree with you, Ned. Right now, is like, it's not worth pushing him for 1 week. We got through last week with Houston. As far as wide receivers, Jenkins gonna be on Michael Thomas. It's just a matter of who's going to be on Ted Ginn. Who's going to be able to stick with him?
BWM. Oh, God. That's gross.
Yeah.
I am liking Discord. I'm adjusting the volumes over here. Tim, you were coming in booming. I brought you down a little bit.
All right.
The only thing is we got to get this up and running smooth, but it'll happen. It'll happen.
There we go. Old man is adjusting.
Yeah, adjusting the knobs. See, I need a little sound clip for
that. Yeah, we have no sound clips.
No,
what's up with that?
We have
no
nothing.
Special effects.
Only our magnificent voices.
We're just going acapella, huh?
Acapella, straight street corner style.
That's all we need.
I just slip it in.
Yeah, there you go. We hit a milestone. 3,000 subs on YouTube. Took forever, but we're there.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up YouTube. I'm glad you brought it up. Because I do look at the comments. You guys know that I do the list of shame and do the list of glory, and some of you people. You got to watch the game. First of all, some of you are telling me to watch the videos, and you're like, last week I heard Eli Apple. Why isn't Eli Apple on the list of glory? He played half the game. He got hurt at half. He played a great half. Good for you. And then I want you to look at all the people that got on me about Chad Wheeler being on the list of shame this week. You know what his PFF grade was for the week?
It was
35.9. Everybody else was doing great. Now, I'm not saying, Chad Wheeler got to put in a bad spot. He has played J.J. Watt his first game he started, with the group. Have fun. I understand that. But, you know what? Eric Flowers probably could give up 3 sacks. He probably had a better game. I just want to put that out there.
Do you want to know why Chad Wheeler had a good game?
Well, why did Chad Wheeler?
Eric Flowers.
Because he wasn't Eric Flowers.
Yep.
Just the move alone, people would love.
And that's the point of these. And some of you guys that, if you didn't see the video, which shame on you, especially if you're interns and haven't seen the video. The last thing I put is shame on the fans, and the fans that jumped off the bandwagon after our 0-2 season, and we're just sky's falling. Let's talk about the draft next year as far as quarterbacks. You know what? It's now we're week 4. We literally be 500 after this week, and we're right in the mix.
Right.
And there's nobody running away with anybody in the division. There's other than the Rams. Other than the Rams, there's nobody that's dominating. I mean, New England looked like garbage the other night.
Yeah, if you would have told me they would have started the season off at 1-2, I would have been like, no way. But you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's
And the Dolphins 3-0. Like what? What world do we live in?
And who knew that Buffalo would stomp Minnesota last week?
Right. Is that legit? Like, is a thing? Is Buffalo going to be like a thing with?
Buffalo's got a good defense. Now, as far as what they did to Minnesota, they just killed Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's all it was. It was straight fumbles all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Which shows you that Minnesota's beatable, just like anybody else. If you don't get you don't get blocking. Guess what, guys? You don't move the ball.
All right. Charlie Green on Facebook wants to know: can we start using Saquon at receiver?
When weren't we? Saquon is 21 catches on the year. He's second on the team in catches. Guess what? We're giving the ball any way we possibly can.
Here we go. Johnny on Facebook also: the Giants are underdogs for the next 5 to 7 games.
I mean, Marco. I mean, let's be honest. That's the way we like it.
The underdog roll well.
How many times have we actually been like favored to win something? When we've actually been successful.
It actually won after we were favored? Not usually.
Yeah.
It's never the case.
The only time that I remember that the Giants were dominating, like favored and dominating, was the
Plexico shooting year.
Yeah, the 09 team. Because even you know the 86 team and the 90 team, they were dominating defensively, but there were some struggle games, and we had tough competition in San Francisco and Dallas, but the 09 Giant team was slaughtering everyone until we shot ourselves in the leg. Literally.
Yep. That is literally the only time I can think of that we were like, oh, okay, we're gonna kill everybody.
Man, that was the fifth one. Everyone talks about Drive for 5, but that was the fifth one that year. That should have been it.
Damn you, Plexico.
Why do I love and hate you at the same time? What happened?
We lost to the Eagles, right? That year in the playoffs?
Was it the Eagles? Yeah, I think it was.
Sounds right. I don't have that good a memory.
I honestly don't know what game you guys are talking about. I mean, it just never... I don't even remember that season. It didn't really happen.
Well, you were probably about 12 years old at that point, so you're fine.
It was bedtime at that time.
Are we really doing this, old man?
Don't make me call your mom.
Question coming in.
Well, that would imply you'd need to be able to walk over to the phone. I don't know that you could do that without your cane.
Oh. Tim, you got canes, Tim?
My cane? I do not have a cane.
Is it a pimp cane or is it? Oh, you would consider it a walking stick.
I play chess in the park. Just hang out.
Will Barkley get over 20 carries in the game this year? That's another question coming in. Yeah, I
why not?
So. You know who's taking his carries away that Tim seems to be working on his hatred for?
Yeah. Can we please talk about why Jonathan Stewart, like in the middle of a game for no reason whatsoever, will get a series? Just skip over the Wade Gallman. It makes no sense.
My guess, Gettleman asked is asking Shermer to try and make that decision look even somewhat justified when it really isn't.
And that's a bad part. Like, so this past game, he had his one series, and honestly, it turned into a first down. Or when he was in there, he wasn't bad at all. But I can't stay. It makes no. I've never seen almost a running back, some player get forced down our throats. But it makes no sense in the scheme of things at all. I love the fact that they were splitting this past game. They were using Gallman a lot more, and I think Saquon was a lot fresher because of it, and it kept people on their toes because, especially when you had both of them in at the same time. And that's what they need to do because Gallman's running well. He needs to keep doing that. And as far as the guy with the 20 carries for Saquon, he's going to get at minimum 20 touches. You know, as far as carries, whatever way he gets the ball, if he gets 20 carries, that means we're probably dominating the game, and we're just trying to kill clock.
He got over 100 all-purpose yards, 117 if I remember correctly, and one touchdown. I remember I did the math for this one guy in the comments, and if he had that performance every game, all 16 games, he'd be at like over 1,800 all-purpose yards, 16 touchdowns. I don't know about you, but I'd take that for a rookie running back.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And if you go back to the tapes, when we were all discussing what we expect from Saquon, and this is even coming from Captain Negative, if he's running over, well, what we see, almost 5 years, like 4.5 yards a carry, almost 5 yards a carry, he's running fine, and he's doing that. You know, we just need a threat of a running game. We don't need to have to run for 250 a week. We need a threat of a running game. Because a play-action pass means nothing if they're laughing at it, like they were doing for years.
Yeah, Eli looks good out of those play-action bootlegs.
Wow.
Looks good on the run.
Yeah,
I must say that's surprising. We've seen him run in the past where it's missing guys, missing running backs, trying to do bootlegs outs, but he looked pretty good. So impressive, Eli. Impressive.
I mean, that's the way Eli was looking there in the preseason. I mean, honestly. But you guys also got to realize, and everybody that was jumping off ship had to realize, Eli hasn't played with the first-team offense. Like, they haven't all played together the whole damn preseason in a game. You know, Odell didn't play any snaps. Saquon played, what, 4? 5?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is an offensive line that's got to gel together as well, and they're gonna get better. Granted, this is last year of Flowers, so no one can complain about that anymore. The nice part is we do go into a draft, which is chock full of tackles and pass rushers, tons of them. The problem is people are going to be wanting a quarterback.
How many people?
You know, the people that I'm discussing are not on the show right now because it was too positive of a week. So some negative people could be on.
They're hiding. Is that person hiding in his negative layer?
Yeah. He didn't want to come on here and be like, you're right. You know, the season's not over. He didn't want to talk positive at all. But I know he was happy about the game. For all you guys, he is a fan of the Giants. But
is that confirmed? I don't know if that's confirmed.
Me and Marco have tapes of years prior. I think he was just hurt a lot from last season, and you could hear it in the audio from the year before last, going into this year.
You can see the
He's not a Cowboys fan.
You can see the excitement from him going into last season to him getting his heart broken. He's still not over it yet. That's why Captain Negative got born.
To be fair to Captain Negative, I can understand the idea of I want to go in with no expectations, and in that case, if we happen to surpass them, I will be pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that point of view.
You know what? And I understand that as well. But the way I argue with him, and hey, you live the way you want to live, but I think that's playing it safe. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not being technically a fan. That's saying I'm going to win either way it goes. I'm either going to win because the Giants won, or I'm going to win because, I was right. You can't play both ways.
He's been hurt. It's
not his fault. I've been trying to get it through. I go, it's not your fault, and I keep telling him to repeat it.
We won't heal Captain Negative in a day, but we will heal Captain Negative eventually.
If we keep winning, we keep winning, Captain Negative will get healed.
Poor Captain.
Captain Negative will be no.
Well, I won't go that. I won't go that far.
I'll take it to the depths of the subconscious for a while.
The problem is all it takes is one loss, and we're right back to square one. You know what? I'm not going to give a certain co-host. I'm not going to let Marco off the. I'm not going to let you off the hook, Marco, because you were on that train as well last week.
That what?
You were pretty much saying the season was over. We're going to suck.
Oh, yeah. I still think we're going to. I don't think there's any change in that.
Now, the real Captain Negative has come out.
There we go. I would love it if I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. If I'm wrong, that sounds horrible.
This game has made me cautiously optimistic.
Now, after this past win, Marco, how do you feel about the season?
I don't want to. I've been saying it the whole year. I think we're going to be about an 8-8 team, but I don't want to be an 8-8 team. Give me the top 5 picks. Let us be like a 4-win team. Get it out of the way, and get our next quarterback going forward, and get our right tackle or left tackle, and figure it out from there. Because we have the other pieces. It's hard to build when you're running around 500. It's difficult.
And that's it.
We've seen it. We've seen giant teams crush that way.
Can I say something? I know.
Go ahead, man.
We've been talking about the depth of the upcoming draft when it comes to tackle. If Gettleman can find another Hernandez type figure in the second round, do we necessarily rule out, hey, maybe we grab a quarterback, because there's a very strong possibility that a lot of them are going to fall. I mean, if we end up in the top 10, I think we'll get probably one of the top 3 quarterbacks. One of them will, at least one of them, maybe even 2, will be available with us when we're there. I mean, if this is, I don't know how deep it is. Maybe more than me, but if you think that there's a possibility that some of these tackles could end up going into the second round, Do you try to grab one there?
Well, here's the deal with that, and I like where you're going with it, but as far as the quarterbacks, I don't think there's anybody that I've seen so far that's worth going. I'm going to go up and get a top 3 pick to get, or even a top 5.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I think
as quarter,
robbed out of
as far as quarterback. Now, as far as the tackles, they're going to drop, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's probably a good, at least last I looked, I would say about a 6 to 8 solid tackles, like good offensive tackles that'll go in this draft. And like it's stacked, and there's tons of pass rushers. Here's my question to you guys: what would you rather Giants do if it's between an offensive tackle and a pass rusher? Which obviously we need both. What would you rather have the Giants do?
Tackle.
tackle.
Is Eli our quarterback?
Well, obviously Eli would be the quarterback.
Then tackle.
You have no other choice because, Eli is a pocket passer, and as we saw this week, when he has 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds, it goes from Eli Manning, the look of confused, like, bewilderment on the ground at the Cowboys. I'm sure you've seen that picture. To, the secondary better watch out. He's coming to steal.
I'll put it this way, though. Okay, so we're obviously going to get a replacement for Eric Flowers at right tackle regardless. Whether it's through the draft or whatever way we do it, we're going to find a replacement. Now, here's the thing, though, is let's say if we go pass rusher, let's say a Nick Bosa or somebody. Or Rashad Gary from Michigan, or there's a bunch of them coming out in this draft.
Didn't Bosa just get injured?
Yeah, he did. But I'm just throwing names out there. And yeah, you're right. Bosa did get hurt, but he's supposed to be a top pick. Now you guys seen this Giants defense? We are killing on the run. If we actually had a pass rush, do you realize the amount of turnovers I think we'd probably be causing? And as much as certain people want to complain about Sam Beal, we already have a corner going in the next year's, that's already on our team next year.
Who would want to complain about Sam Beal? He hasn't even played. Who would want to do that?
I would.
That's what you call setting up for a layup right there. Here you go.
I knew he was there. I could see that on the thing anyway.
Sam. Yeah, this is Sam Beal. What's up? I just broke my nail.
Where were you been?
I was napping.
You show up late because it's a positive week?
No, I literally fell asleep just sitting up probably around an hour ago.
The man of the hour. I want to know what your feelings are after the win.
He's had too many sleepless nights because of a positive week.
No, you're on crack, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. First of all, I basically said what did I say a month ago?
500.
Get to 2-2.
Yeah.
Get to 2-2. Right? So here we are. It's in front of you. Yep. The difference between 2-2 and 1-3 is huge. Here's what I think Giant fans need to. So I reached out to our buddy the other day in preparing for the podcast. So I definitely was not ignoring it or going to miss it because of the fact that something positive happened. Timothy. So I reached out to Dan Dugan just to say, okay, where can I find this information that I was looking for specifically for tonight? And when it comes down to it, here's the season. And this is You want credit where credit is due? This is the Eli Manning that's worth $22 million. That's what we need to see from him. And specifically what I'm about to go over, okay? Because if you watch the first two games and I don't hear about the line. I don't want to hear about the line. The quarterback made plays. That's the difference. He made the throws last week. That was the difference. First 2 weeks, he did not. Left plays on the field. Now we need to see it consistently. Can I see it consistently? Can we not go up and down? When it comes down to it, if this season goes anywhere, this is what it basically boils down to. Give me a second here. I'm looking for it. Bingo. Bango.
There we go.
Right here. 9 plays, 77 yards, 5 minutes and 29 seconds. If this season goes anywhere, here's where it launched off. Giants get the ball. Now, were you guys scared? Because I was scared.
That they were going to blow it?
I wasn't 100% positive that they were walking away with a win, especially when they came out in the third quarter and didn't move the ball at all. Like, I totally saw this thing setting up for a heartbreaker. And the way the last year has gone and the way the last 2 weeks have gone, I had a bad feeling. So they get the ball back. It's a 5-point game. And how many times have we seen it and been on the show and complained about it, that the offense can't move the ball, they punt the game back, and then the defense, after playing well for the whole game, folds in the fourth quarter, gives up a big play, and they end up losing a tight one.
Yep.
1st and 10 at their own 23. Manning goes to the left for Shepard, pushed out of bounds at the 46. They picked up 23 yards on first down. They didn't come out and run the ball. They didn't set themselves up in 2nd and 8. They attacked. They got 23 yards on first down right there. 1st and 10 from the 46. Shotgun. Barkley up the middle, 2 yards. Giants took a timeout. Manning to the right to Ellison for 17 yards. 1st and 10 at the Houston 35. Barkley for -2. I thought this was a huge play. On 2nd and 12 at the Houston 37, the dump off, the play to Barkley that goes for 10 yards to set up the 3rd and 2. And then Manning again to Barkley for another 21 yards on the 3rd and 2 following. Absolutely huge. And then Manning goes to Barkley again, -2 yards there. The completion following, Barkley ran the next play, and then Sterling Shepard touchdown. So that drive, if this season goes anywhere, you could look back to that drive and point to it as the catalyst for a run. Well, and now you're as good as the next week. So show up at home and take care of the
I hope Shermer looks at that. Because I mentioned this on like the little impromptu podcast that happened yesterday?
Yeah.
But I hope Shermer learned from that and doesn't repeat a third quarter situation where he kind of turtles instead of just putting the foot on the throat. And I appreciate that he once it got to the, hey, it's getting kind of tight, he didn't go conservative. He didn't try to just oh, hey, maybe can we just run out the clock? He went out there and attacked and tried and successfully put the game away. So the defense didn't have to stress about, oh man, do we have to hold them to do we have to hold them? Do we have to make sure they only get a only get a field goal? Do we have to make sure that they don't get a touchdown? Do we have to make sure that they don't get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion? That wasn't an issue for them. They could and did just kind of let the Texans run out the clock when they got the ball. And that is what's been missing from this team for so long, is that foot on the throat, aggressive, win the game kind of play calling and mentality.
Absolutely, the play to win and not to lose, and that's the stuff I can't stand. And I'm going to tell you right now, I want to give a little props out to Nate Solder because I didn't even hear about Jadeveon Clowney didn't do anything. You know, and I want to give a little shout out to him. He played well.
You know what, dude? You know what? But beyond the play calling and that shit, like let me say something. It's about players making plays.
Absolutely.
It's about players making plays, man. And when you're paying someone that much money, your quarterback that much money, the quarterback has to make plays. There are plays in this NFL with the league, with the way it is, we've said it before, it's designed for you to score points. They're begging you to move the ball and make plays and score points. And even with the line being shaky, there were a lot of plays that were left on the field, a lot of opportunities to go to different receivers in different situations that could have broken a game open. The Giants could be 3-0 right. Okay,
absolutely.
So you're 1-2. You're 1-2. You're in this situation, but the key to me was the responding on that drive in the fourth quarter. I've seen so many times them in the big spot, regardless of how the game is gone, get into that spot and not execute in those situations, regardless of what the play call is, just not executing, and then having to punt the ball back, and then the defense, after playing well for 3.5 quarters, all of a sudden they let the team go right down the field. We've seen it repeatedly from this team. So in a situation where you're on the road, where you're 0-2, where your season's on the line, to me, that drive was when they were going down the field on that drive, and it was and they needed a touchdown because it's a 5-point game. I don't want to. You're not comfortable with a field goal there at all. So you want to get in the end zone. You want to put the game away. And that drive to me was very reminiscent. I thought of the game in 2007 where they were 0-2 on the road against Washington. And the drive that went against them, where their defense ended up standing up on the goal line for 4 straight plays and stopping Washington to getting in, I correlated that. So the defense was a sift the first 2 games that year. Remember? They gave up 80-something points. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then the defense made a huge stand to win a game that you needed to win on the road, and you got to 1-2. Fast forward to this year, right? The offense has been the disappointment. It's been, the offense has been the complete, what's going on? All this talent, what's happening? And they responded when they needed to. They went down the field, and they got 7 in a key spot when they needed to. I think that's huge. I think that you could build seasons off of stuff like that. Now, here's the difference, though, Tim. In 2007, did they go on a little run after they went 0-2? Didn't they end up 5-2 at that point?
Yeah, it sounds about right. They didn't win another streak though of losses, but
yeah, you need to go get a W this week. You need to find a way to beat New Orleans.
Now, I'm gonna ask a question. Maybe I'm seeing stuff that you guys aren't seeing, but I'm feeling like a little attitude change, and I honestly think Barkley is actually a big part of it. The fact that Barkley does not go down on the first hit ever, and he's always pushing to go forward, I think is rubbing off offensive guys that they got to do what they have to do. And let's put it this way: Odell hasn't even done anything this year. He's going about his business and doing what he's supposed to do. It just seems like there's a big attitude change in the offense. You guys see the same stuff?
I think it's good when you're making plays and putting points on the board. Guys are going to get fired up. That's the whole thing. Barkley's impressed me. I'm not going to lie. My question was about him coming into this league was, can he match the physical play? Has not been an issue the first 3 games of the season. Matter of fact, he's excelled at it. So my question with him was, can he get the yards after contact? Can he get you that first down when you need it? And so far, Barkley's not the issue on the team at all.
Absolutely not.
Though I will say I did get scared when the what was that hit really low on Barkley?
The Cunningham hit?
You know what I'm talking about, right? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That got me a little scared. That was a.
It looked like Houston was going low early. Houston was trying to go low early on Saquon.
Shermer,
but there was a couple of good knee shots that were pretty dirty. It looked dirty.
Shermer hinted.
You know what though? You know,
Shermer hinted on that too.
I heard a lot of people talking about the low knee shots. Like, I don't know what the defensive players are supposed to do anymore.
Well, and Saquon's huge. Are you going to run into his thighs? What are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't understand. Like, I don't. If you're like, if that guy on the sideline with Ingram, if he comes in and goes high, he gets a 15-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so. Yeah. I don't know. The defensive players are in a really tough spot, man. I don't. You can't hit them high in certain situations, and a guy like that, you go to hit a guy like Barkley in the open field. If you're a corner or something like that, good luck, man. You got to get them low, and you're going to have guys trying to do that because they can't go high anymore. They can't do anything. You see some of the penalties being called; it's ridiculous. So,
yeah, to be fair, I think and I know. They just said they wouldn't change it until next year, but the competition committee said that they didn't like how the rules were being enforced. They wanted it changed, which should mean that hopefully next year we shouldn't have this much bullshit. We have to tolerate it for 1 year.
So we got a message coming in from, let's see, NYG 3317. He says Wheeler improves a lot. Obviously, we're done with Flowers, but who knows?
I don't know if Wheeler improved a lot, other than it was. I don't have to worry about Flowers. Let's see what someone else can do. Obviously, we're gonna have to improve that position in the offseason. But Wheeler, hey, it's J.J. Watt. Your first game out this season. There's no way he can go. He can't. It's going to get easier, next week.
Right. His thoughts were, if Wheeler continues to improve, which he thinks he would. Going back to our original argument, would you take an edge rusher or would you go with another tackle?
I'm a defensive guy, and this before we got on it is I'm going to go pass rusher, because you can grab a tackle. And later in the rounds, especially a right tackle.
You guys want to hear the PFF offensive line pass blocking grades for Week 3?
I'm going to go under 40 for Wheeler.
I already know it's 38.5.
Whoa.
Solder 86.0, Hernandez 86.9, Greco 83.1. Omame 86.9, Wheeler 35.9.
That's so low.
Yeah. But Chad Wheeler should not have been on the list of shame. You pieces of shit.
you know what? Honestly, maybe there might be a slight improvement in quality of blocking compared to Flowers. What Wheeler didn't do was take stupid fucking penalties that made it 1st and 20.
Well, what happened to this family show, Ned? Don't get. My mom's gonna be coming.
Sorry,
Ned, get out here! Close the goddamn windows.
I should get the fan again.
Ned, don't you cuss?
Hey, don't push me. I can demonetize you.
What's demonetized? That's in millennial words? What's that mean?
On YouTube, if they have bots or whatever, and sometimes if you swear too much or whatever, you get what's called demonetized, which essentially means the ad revenue you get from YouTube for that specific video gets decreased significantly.
Oh, trust me, that's happened to us plenty of times.
Yeah.
Right, Marco? Right, Marco?
He's muted.
So it's down Russian.
But anyways, I know they went a little off track.
A little.
A little off track, but as far as the line, hey, if Wheeler out there makes everybody else play better, fine. Because that was actually Omeme's best game by far. But the other thing you guys got to realize too is Greco is a veteran center. Like, he's a veteran player, and I think he definitely helped out being a center as well. He probably could pick out a lot more than Jalapio, who was in his first year of being a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that makes you question, who do you like? Why wasn't he the one who was starting?
Well, you can also go with, is it potential, or is it, or do you want to go with a veteran? You want to teach somebody to get better, or do you want to go with the guy that's you got like 1 or 2 years left?
Fair enough.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
In going back to the game against New Orleans, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen in the past few years the combination of it being a shootout where it was like 50-50, and we saw a defensive-minded game the year prior where it was like 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you think this game is going to play out?
It's going to be right in the.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ned. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's going to be right in the middle. It's not going to be an absolute shootout like the first one was, but I also think there's going to be significantly more offense compared to the second one. I say kind of like right in the middle. It's going to be high enough scoring to be entertaining, but it's not going to be like their game against the Falcons, where I think I would like to think we have a better defense than the Falcons, like, who've been completely hobbled by injuries.
I think you better hope that Apple plays this week.
Who plays this week?
Apple.
Yeah, I'm hoping Apple plays this week, 100%.
Because all hands on deck in that secondary.
Yep.
Also,
they're going to need it.
I got a concern about their ability that Peyton will find a way to expose these linebackers in cover. I have concerns about that. And the quarterback is good enough to exploit those matchups of the protection as well. So I think it's a big challenge with the Saints. You better be able to run the ball and keep them off the field. I think that it would better serve the Giants for this game to be played somewhere underneath 24 points. I think when you start getting upwards around 27, 31, 34, 38, the game suddenly becomes a game that the Saints are used to playing. I think that it serves the Giants' best purpose to run the ball, keep this team off the field, control the clock, and convert third downs, and to consistently move the ball. Now, the thing about that is when you get down there, you better score points instead of kicking field goals. Because this team will come down and you'll have the ball for 16 minutes in the first half, and they'll come right, or you'll have the ball for 20 minutes in the first half, be dominating the game, and be trailing 14-6. So they need to score points. They need to go on some long drives, keep this team off the field. But the bottom line is, dude, they need to just go out and do what you did last week.
Yeah, I mean, all I want to see is literally
some consistently. Show up and play the exact same way you did last week.
You need to run the ball and you need to stop the run. That's what it comes down to. We got to make the New Orleans one-dimensional.
Tim, I got a question for you. In their prime, Breeze or Rodgers?
Who in the prime?
Breeze or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh.
It's a tough one, right?
No, not for me.
Hey, you know what? You got to go Rodgers as far as for pure overall game. But Drew Brees I love Drew Brees since he played at Purdue. I mean, that dude he just knows how to pass. He's the best passer ever.
He's perfect for that system.
Yep.
I think you could take Rodgers and put him in any system. I think Brees would struggle in certain systems. Brees and Peyton are perfect for each other.
Oh, hey, I did this. Vernon was apparently practicing, but obviously limited in practicing. So there's a chance he could be out there.
Personally, I think that's just hearsay. I don't think he's gonna play. I think he's just trying to get people to, strategize for it. But you know what? Lorenzo Carter keeps on improving. You know what? Vernon's not gonna have a home here next year anyway.
All right, a comment.
So we said it on the show last week. We said the defense put them in position to win 2 football games.
100%.
So the defense showed up in week 3 and have done exactly what they've done in the first 2 weeks of the season. They competed.
Yep.
The defense is going out there, and they have their deficiencies. I think we all know that. But
their one defense is disgusting. One defense is amazing.
Effort, yeah, but the effort, you can see the effort.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And that stands out to me. Like, so if you have a weakness in the secondary, you need guys flying around creating chaos in the backfield to blow some stuff up, to not give a. They're doing well in reference to that. They're competing. They're giving up some points. They've given up some plays. They haven't been a sift. They haven't been letting teams walk up and down the field on them. They need to get to the passer a little more. We know that. But for the most part, the defense has played well enough for this team to be 3-0. The offense needs to come along for the ride. And you saw when the offense comes along for a ride, and Eli is making plays and completing passes, which are there all the time to be completed, this offense is very tough to stop.
100%. And you know what? I think
we've said it, and I'm trying to say it without saying it, but in case you're missing my point, this all comes down to one person, and it's all going to come down to that one person for the whole season. If the defense is giving you this type of effort and continues to give up this amount of points per game, then there is no excuse why this giant team should not be in the playoff with the offensive talent they have around them. Your quarterback needs to show up and make plays. In the first 2 weeks, he did not. They lost. In week 3, he did. They won. Let's see what happens in week 4.
And you know what the thing is? I got to say is, and you put it nail on the head, is the effort is there. And then with the effort being there, most teams are getting themselves into shape in the first month of the season. So especially chemistry-wise, especially with all new systems going around, these guys are going to get better. But the effort is there, and that's what's awesome. I think it's epitomized on defense by Kerry Wynn. I haven't seen Kerry Wynn play this damn well unless it's preseason.
The effort, to me, makes it watchable. Last year, they were not watchable. Last year, at times, I wanted to throw something at my television. There was a lack of effort.
You wanted to? You know you did. I know you threw stuff.
I can take losing a football game if the team's playing hard and competing to the best of their ability. I did not get that feeling last year. I get that feeling this year. I get the feeling that they're competing. And that's all you can ask for.
How do you feel about Shermer? In by week 3.
I have it's going to take a lot more than the first month of the season for me to make a decision on Shermer. I need to see I want to see him go through good stretches, bad stretches. I need to see some stuff from Shermer. I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. I hope that he learned from his time in Cleveland, but I have concerns about what happened while he was in Cleveland. Not so much the play on the field, but his psyche. And now to see if he can withstand that in New York. and I don't think the first 3 games of the season are enough. I don't think it would be fair to him to make that assessment right now, and I don't think there's enough data to go on to make that right now. I mean,
the thing I'm hearing though is, and I know you guys have seen it too, is a lot of the players are saying it almost seems like they're playing for Shermer. You know,
play for whoever you need to win the game. Right now, the offense is the reason that they're 1-2 and not 3-0. And Shermer was brought here specifically because he's an offensive guy. Yeah. So, you're 1-2. You are what your record says you are. So, like, build on what happened.
We need that sound clip.
Go out and win a game against a team that could have very easily have been in the NFC Championship game last week. Go out and beat this team at home. There's no reason you can't win this game. And give Giant fans 2 weeks in a row, because there's a huge difference between 2-2 and 1-3. You're going to feel a lot different about the Houston game if the Giants lose to New Orleans than you would if they would have come back and put 2 games together and be 2-2. So this is the game. Get to 2-2. This is huge this Sunday.
All right, here we go. I can't believe that Apple turned out to be such a vital part of our defense. Do you all miss DRC now?
Apple always was a vital part of the defense. I mean, that's what happened last year. He got his mind at other places. Going back to James, lack of effort was there. He wasn't in team first mentality. His rookie season, he absolutely was that, and that's why he was the starting corner. And DRC was always in the nickel anyway from day one since Apple's been there. You know,
is he even getting snaps?
DRC?
Yeah.
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 Is he playing like 30% of the snaps, or?
No, he's playing a lot for Oakland. He's on the field a lot for Oakland.
I haven't watched that closely.
Yeah, he's playing. He's contributing for them. He's on the field. Yep.
All right. Is he wearing the red Power Rangers suit though?
It would be more obvious to see how much he's not doing in that secondary if he was.
But we have Sam Bill, so we're all right.
Yeah, we have Fred Gile. We're fine.
I wanted Mike Dean. I wanted McDaniels or Patricia, not Shermer. Well,
yeah, you see what Patricia's doing. All you Patricia people wanted.
Patricia's got the same record as Shermer.
You know what? But Giants got that win before Detroit did.
Yeah, because Detroit played at night. So that
exactly.
Took them so long to get that win.
Yeah. And Patricia, to be fair though, Patricia went against his old team, which he knew all the, ins and outs of. Let's see what he does this coming week with Patricia.
Did you watch that game? Did you watch that game? Did you see the play at the one point where I forget where they were on the field, but it was pretty funny. I guess Brady checked to a different play, and you literally hear the guy on Detroit yell, "Pitch, pitch, pitch!" and Brady takes the snap, and sure enough, he turns around, he pitches it, and they end up losing 2 or 3 yards. They were all over that team. They knew exactly what they were going to do. It's pretty crazy. That was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I can't stand New England, so I love that they lost. But that's the problem when the other country staffs go other places, especially with Patricia and Belichick. Patricia knows everything about Belichick.
Well, Patricia was just like that. This was the game he had circled on the calendar, highlighted in like blue mark, underline, circled with a bunch of arrows pointing to it. This was his fucking game. If he was like. If there was anything that he was going to win, it was going to be that game.
Wait, are you guys insinuating that he knew the plays beforehand?
Yeah.
Do we have Spygate?
Did he record it?
Belichick's not changing schemes. He's too old for that. You don't got time for that.
Don't bring up anything about the Spygate or the cheaters or anything. I can't stand that stuff. I can't stand it.
It's Belichick Jr. in here. Belichick Jr.
It's just make a play. Like why were they cheating when they played us twice? Were they?
Well, obviously not because we won.
So they're only cheating when they win. So it should only happens. Like, Tom
Coughlin knew. Tom Coughlin knows what Belichick does.
I don't want to hear about air in the ball. Like, if the quarterback's laying on his back, it doesn't matter how much air is in the ball because he can't throw it. So, and isn't that game where when he was throwing the deflated balls, wasn't it like 7-3 at halftime? And then when they went back to the regular balls, what was the final score? Like 44-14. So like,
wouldn't have changed anything.
Come on, make a play.
Are you surprised that they're 1-2?
What?
Are you surprised that the Pats are 1-2?
The Pats always come out of the gate slow though in September, man. It's not like they take September as an extended preseason.
I don't remember him.
Oh, you know that they're going to become significantly better once they get Gordon playing.
Mm-hmm.
If we ever see Josh Gordon play.
It's going to be when
they Edelman back anyway.
Let me tell you something. Even if they get Edelman back, I don't think there's more of a since we're going down this Josh Gordon route. Everyone knows my affection for Flash, and the history that I have with Flash. Let me tell you, I've always been a defender of his, talent-wise. I've never tried to understand what someone with an addiction like that or a sickness like that is going through. So I try to give him the benefit of the doubt because it is a sickness, it is an addiction, and I hope that he got better and is successful. That being said, this is all on Josh Gordon now. I mean, if you, for the talent that he has, if you could have said, okay, we're going to put you, if it does not work out here in New England, he will never play football again. And this was his career handed to him on a silver platter. And we're going to put you with Tom Brady in New England in the situation where they need you more than life itself on that offense. And basically, Josh Gordon holds the fate of the New England Patriots, in my opinion, solely in his hands. Because if he shows up, even if he is not Josh Gordon from 6 years ago, whatever it was, when he had that huge year where he was just insane, catching balls from guys like Brian Weeden and Jason Campbell. Even if he's not that guy, just the threat of him when now you add Edelman and you add Gronk and you add James White and Brady's ability to read defenses and get rid of the ball and take advantage of matchups, just having him on the outside does wonders for them offensively. Now, the question I have for him is, because here's the thing, you show up late to one meeting, you're gone. Like, there's no more bending for New England is not going to bend for Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon has to bend to New England. Can he do that? Like every day, whenever I get an update on my phone, because I got him all over on my fantasy teams. So whenever I'm not surprised if I was to get a tweet or an update or something that said the Patriots released Josh Gordon. So I think it can go really good, and he can be phenomenal, or he can get cut at any minute. It's crazy.
I started him last week.
How?
Marco, you remember the shows we had when we were talking about Josh Gordon and having that Josh Gordon over Odell?
Let me tell you something. That was Josh Gordon and Odell. You had your opportunity. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, but Josh Gordon's getting hammered before practice and crap. You know, we don't need that.
Hey,
hold on.
Odell had white powder, and I will have you. That means he is a locker room cancer and an absolute horrible drug addict.
Who said that?
No, that's just ESPN essentially.
No, that's bullshit.
You don't believe me? Fucking go to like any of the sports shows to talk about Odell's fucking.
I don't see anyone. When that video, come on, when that video dropped, I don't see anyone coming out and saying Odell was drug at all. I saw people coming out and saying that Odell has put himself in terrible situations with the people that are surrounding him. I didn't see anyone on this show, on Undisputed, on Pick a Show, on FAN. I didn't hear one person come out and say Eli or Odell has a drug problem.
Ned is in the penalty box for 3 F-bombs and...
Did I curse? I cursed? I didn't curse.
It wasn't you.
No, it was Ned. It's Ned. Let's keep throwing F-bombs out there.
I said bullshit, but I didn't think that was like a curse.
No, that's fine.
That was Ned. That throwing F-bombs out there.
And Justin is sneaking in the conversation.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on.
Coming in late as hell.
Play the rattlesnake music. Here comes the rattlesnake.
I'm an hour late for the show, and I come in and we're talking about Josh Gordon.
We've been talking Giants. Somebody mentioned Joshua.
We won a game.
We're
did.
Talking
about Josh Gordon?
We're talking about Josh Gordon. We won a game.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Blow everybody because we won one game? There's other things to talk about. You were late.
Justin,
you talk about other players. You talk about other players, but we just won a game.
Justin, for the past 3 years, probably 4 years, we've been trained to not even understand what the hell a win is. We're just depressed.
Do we know what a win is?
I don't know.
When we scored 20 points in the first, half,
last year we were close.
Ended our lead. I was
have higher standards than what the Cleveland Browns are. We're New York Giant fans. To not be in the playoffs and winning 9-10 games per year is unacceptable with the resources this franchise has. Completely unacceptable.
We were laughed at more last year than the Browns because of McAdoo, though.
We're laughed at more than the Browns because we're the New York Football Giants, gentlemen.
That's
we're
right.
A standard. We're a flagship. We're history.
It's got the name on the front, not on the back.
So for them to, and that's why last year I had venom coming from my mouth every time I opened it, because it's embarrassing to those people that that stuff means something to me. Like Jim, the history of this franchise and what it represents means something to me. So to put that product on the field can drive some of us crazy.
New guy in the.
I have a question for the order.
It's not your fault, James.
Sure.
It's not your fault, James.
If they listen to me, they wouldn't lose like that.
I have a question for the order.
Go ahead.
Has anybody given James the proper rationing of shit for the fact that the Giants specifically targeted Zach Cunningham, a linebacker that James was petitioning to be on our roster last year?
No, I like Zach Cunningham.
He's
actually pretty good, though. He's actually pretty good.
Specifically. Yeah. And exploited him across them continuously.
What?
We haven't had our draft misses,
You
Justin.
watched that game and came away with a scouting report on Zach Cunningham?
Yes.
Listen, all I'm
We won the
saying,
game, Justin. We won the game. Why are we talking about Zach Cunningham?
all I'm saying is, for someone who has such stone cold lock of a pick every year, your guy basically is one of the main reasons why we won the game.
My
Because we were
guy
able to
has
exploit
also played his
his
balls off and played very well throughout his rookie season and the first 2 games of this season leading up to that. So,
You
can we
have
look at a body of work, or are we going to be an Eli fan and just jerk off over one game?
James's guy is giving us wins. You have a problem with that?
I don't think that I was wrong. I don't think Zach Cunningham was a bad pick, or I don't think he's a bad ball player.
I'm gonna, you know what? As bad as I hate this, I'm gonna stick up for James. Zach Cunningham is actually pretty good.
He's played well. He's played well. He played a good rookie year.
First of all, and why is Zach Cunningham covering Saquon Barkley? That's not his fault.
We won a football game. Why are we talking about Zach Cunningham?
Fair enough.
I think Zach's played well. Did he have a rough game? I'd probably wish he had some plays back. But have you watched him play? Other than this one game, because last year he played well, and this year he's played pretty well. He hasn't done a bad job.
Mm.
I'm going to ask you let's go back to this question. The draft makes me think, okay, I remember watching the draft for you guys, and we were all getting pumped up because we thought O.J. Howard was going to be our pick. Ended up being him going a little early. Would you guys rather have O.J. Howard right now or Evan Ingram?
I'll tell you the truth. I'd rather have Zach Cunningham than Evan Ingram. I'm worried about things that I value and I don't value. I value linebackers. I value defensive linemen. I value offensive linemen. I value quarterbacks. I don't value wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. If my quarterback can make those guys better, those aren't guys high on my value list. So, give me the linebacker over the tight end any day of the week. I think Zach Cunningham is going to be a pretty good football player for the next couple of years. I think Ingram will be as well, but I'd rather have the linebacker. I don't see how you could look at Ingram and Zach Cunningham right now in their careers, because they've played the same amount of time, and give one a definitive edge over the other. I think both have flashed and both have shown that
that's fair
in certain situations.
I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that the position in today's NFL is greatly devalued. I mean, the most successful linebackers in the league right now are not linebackers like we had in the 80s. They're just not.
No,
they're skilled, but it's a different skill set. Luke Kuechly's more of a safety linebacker, high linebacker. And so
did anybody see the game that he played on Sunday?
He's a freaking
freak
of nature.
You already know I'm in Panther country. I hear see that all day.
I went over to that game after, and I was going back and forth because I had some shares of Giovanni Bernard. And let me tell you something. It is a pleasure to watch Kuechly play. I could watch him play all day long.
Luke's awesome.
He plays hard, man. He really does.
Fun fact, Lorenzo Carter actually leads the defense in quarterback pressures.
let me tell you something. That kid has been very impressive. Very impressive. He's all over the field.
Yep.
But I must say, I like Gettleman's first 4 picks. You could debate the whole. We could go back to the whole quarterback Saquon thing, but pick after that, pick after that, pick after that.
DJ Hill played great as well.
They're playing.
DJ Hill's playing very well as well. Yes, they're getting good production from the young players on the roster, and Barkley. Yeah, sure.
Did everything just drop?
Well, I think when I mentioned Ingram in reference to Cunningham, I think that if you sat here and said, I think we'd be lying if we said that Ingram hasn't shown an ability to be explosive, that he hasn't shown an ability to be a matchup problem. But I also think that in situations he's shown an ability to maybe drop the ball a little too much. He's not a very good blocker whatsoever. So you have to overcome not being able to have a tight end that does both well by using other players in other situations and other types of formations. So I think that he has his positives and he has his negatives. Now, the beautiful thing about Evan Ingram is he's not a finished product. And I think that that's the same thing that a Texans fan would tell you about Zach Cunningham. I think that they would tell you that he's flashed in certain situations and shown an ability to be a playmaker and do certain things. And in other situations, maybe he's been caught out of position and taken advantage of because he's a younger player. Either one is a finished product. I'm not devaluing him, but I'm not putting him on a pedestal just because he wears a blue jersey. He has a ways to go.
I got a question. I got a question here. So I'm going to go back and look at the tape, but I'm kind of curious what the offense looked like after Ingram went out, comparatively with Ellison starting at tight end instead of Ingram.
Well, they went down on that drive without him.
Exactly. And Ellison.
Can I tell you guys something? If the quarterback is playing well and making the right reads and the right throw, it doesn't matter. Ingram doesn't matter. The quarterback can make everything better. Everything. If he's making throws and he's making the right reads.
And let's be honest, Odell's uncoverable.
You saw that. It helps to have a guy like Odell. Let's not kid ourselves. But when you're talking about the Ingrams of the world and stuff like that, like the quarterback can overcome for those type of losses. He can't overcome for the left tackle or the right tackle or everything like that. That's in front of him, and he's relying on that. He can put the receivers by making throws in better situations. He can make the right read and go to the guy that's wide open and go to the guy in one-on-one coverage and put those guys in a better situation to make plays. That's why you pay the quarterback the big money. So, like, we saw Shockey go down and Boss come in 10 years ago, and they got better. So Ingram goes down, and here comes Ellison, and they march down the field. Now, does that mean anything long-term? I don't know that we can make anything of that long-term. But it goes to show you that if the friggin' quarterback is making throws, give a shit who's in there.
Well, here's the thing. I think that it's very clear to me that despite Evan Ingram's athletic ability, that Rhett Ellison as a tight end is where Eli expects him to be in the offense. And that's of great value to Eli because he has shown us in the first 3 weeks of the season that he's not exactly at making plays off of book or however you would want. So having a tight end that's going to be exactly where he's supposed to be and do what he's supposed to do, like Rhett Ellison, is of great value to Eli. And, Sterling Shepard to that Ingram role of being that dynamic second or third option in the passing game and outperform Ingram. So I'm not sure. I'm worried for Evan Ingram because I'm not sure that we're going to miss him as much as everybody thinks we are.
Somebody in the chat said we need to tank and draft a QB.
Well, they need to get out of the chat. You're not welcome here.
Well, it's funny. It's funny how everybody has changed their. I mean, last week it was Herbert, and now all of a sudden everybody is like, "Oh my God, we won a game. Let's go!" And I'm like,
all right. Well, to be fair,
you're not going to be for every game you win, you get further away from the quarterback.
Captain Negative, can we at least take a look at the game? And
what is that noise?
I have no idea.
Is that Ned's fan?
No, that's not mine. Because I'm
that Mom?
I'm hearing the window. I'm hearing that coming from someone else. That's not me.
It stopped.
But can we at least acknowledge that the positives of what we saw in this past week was good, that it calls for a change of view from what we saw in week 2. I'm not saying that we should assume that what we saw week 3 is going to be the consistent and going to show up every week. Can we at least say that what we saw this week took what our expectations were of the potential ceiling for this squad and lifted that a little bit?
I heard you guys before the. It's amazing how you guys have had to reset your expectations already. Like you guys told me for months and months and months that this was going to be this high flying circus offense that's going to put up points and do all this stuff.
We never said that.
Like, oh, come on, man. Are you kidding me? The whole fan base has been sucking. Are you kidding me?
We never said that. What we said was that.
I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the Twitter heads and the fan base and the millennials and the young, the social media Giant fans that are just all over Beckham and Barkley and Eli, and he's going to get an extension, and Eli is just get him a line, and we're going to be fine. And now that we have this new line, the Giants are going to be scoring points and moving the ball. If we didn't hear that for months since they got Barkley, that they were fine.
Yeah, that is very true.
Those gosh darn young people.
What's up, Dave?
And it wasn't just them. There was a lot of older, stupid Giant fans as well that were saying this stuff.
I was saying it.
What's up, Vincent? What's on your mind?
There was the expectation where they were going to come out and they had the pieces. It was Shermer, and we had 4/5 of a new line, and they were going to come out and, well, maybe not the first game, because the first game, we're gonna play Jacksonville, so we're gonna pass the first game. But definitely that second game, we're gonna come out and it's gonna be lights out on Sunday Night Football. And that didn't happen. And then here we come and we get a good performance. And now all of a sudden we have to reset the expectations. I think that hold on, because this is a weekly thing. I don't get too high and don't get too low.
Here's the reason.
Oh, sorry. You go.
Here's the reason why I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic because we started out 0-2, and Shermer is the first of the last 3 coaches that we had that was willing to make a move in season to shake things up.
Yeah,
Coughlin, God bless him, brought us 2 Super Bowls, but he was ride or die. And if you were in his golden house at the start of the season, you were there till the end, no matter how shitty you played. And Ben was so locked into what his strategy was. It was see the epic holes in it and failing. Shermer saw what was happening with the offensive line, and he had the balls to make it. Not saying that Chad Wheeler played perfect, because Lord knows that he didn't.
Well, I mean, he was also going against J.J. Watt.
Yeah, but I also know he was playing defensive end in football today, and I know he did at least as good as Eric Flowers would have done, if not a little bit better.
I was going to say probably better, I would say.
Well, you know what? Here's you're going to feel, and here it goes as far. See, I'm sorry, it goes as far as this week. Like, if you lose to the Saints, nobody's going to remember this.
Very true.
This is going to be a very distant memory in what, 5 or 6 short days. So,
I truthfully believe that. Go ahead.
I disagree with that.
If you come out of the first month 1-3 as opposed to 2-2, and you lose to the Saints,
big difference.
Huge difference there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. If we lose that game, it depends how we lose that game. If we lose that game 40, then yes, I agree with you. It's a major step. If we lose that game 35, if the offense puts up 30 points and continues to progress,
I mean, for some reason, I feel like that isn't going to be a high-scoring game anyway. Just based off of how they did against the Browns' defense, I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and that's just my opinion.
You think low, like the last time they played?
Yeah. The Browns' defense this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
Be careful with that whole Saints defense is awful, and it's like you get into the game and things happen, and all of a sudden momentum. Like just get into the game and play well. You can get into the game. If the Giants drive down and take up 8 minutes and miss a field goal from 38 yards out or 28 yards out, and all of a sudden then they come down and now you're in the second quarter already, and then it's 7-0 Saints. The game can go completely different. So. You never know what's going to happen.
Man. This guy looks at everything from a negative light. He sees everything on how it could go wrong.
No, I see everything in reality. That's how I see it. Not because I don't see it just because I'm a Giants fan and I'm going to think I'm not going to say I'm a Giants fan. So there's a flip side to the coin that you guys just don't want to consider ever. Here I am.
Well, I'm also being. Yeah, but
we acknowledge the good. I just sat here for an hour and praised Manning for making plays. I said Barkley looks a ton better than I thought he was going to at the NFL level. But if you want to talk about the Saints game and you want to talk about what's coming, you better get to 2-2. Because you look at it and you say, "Oh, we scored 31 points and lost the game." I look at it and say, "You're 0-2 and you're 1-3 and you've lost to 2 NFC teams. You're 0-2 in the NFC, 0-1 in the division."
Yeah.
So the first month is a complete failure, and I don't give a shit what happened in Houston if you don't win the Saints game.
Yeah, very true. That's something I do agree with. It's
not being negative. That's being a Giants fan and caring about where this team's going to end up in December and not jerking off because we won a game in September.
Yeah, but I'm also going to preach. Yeah.
Breaking up a little. Let me give him a minute to get his things together. All right, you want to wind this down?
This team was a fluke play away from going to the NFC Championship game last year. They were a fluke play away from going to. And I got news for you: if that team last year, the way they were playing, the team that went into Minnesota would have went into Philadelphia, there might have been a completely different ending to the way last season ended if Diggs doesn't make that miracle play.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got MYG. Wants to say something.
Dude, if you were with us for the beginning of the show, you would have heard me say the defense has played good enough to where this team could be 3-0 right.
Right.
I'm literally just talking on the offensive side. You can't say, "Oh, they got a fluke play And then on the Giants side, and like I said, I wasn't here earlier, so that's probably why I didn't hear that. But that's what I'm just saying.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what we said earlier.
I'm just saying you can't live on what ifs. Like, oh, what if he would have caught that? I mean, what happened happened. You know, I also look at it from a defensive side of the football. Yes, Breeze can move the ball down the field, but can he be stopped? Yes, he can. Their defense is 30th in the league. I look at it from how can my team win, not how can my team lose. Yes, the Giants have multiple ways.
We just talked about how can our team win. Here's how you win. You run the ball down their throats.
See,
the Saints don't have a valid run defense.
Off the field. You feature Barkley. You stay in 3rd and short. And your quarterback plays good enough to convert, and you don't settle for field goals. You put 7 on the board and shorten the game. Yeah. And we also talked about earlier how this game would be beneficial for the Giants, not if it's 37, 38 points scored, but if the Giants could play it somewhere in the 20 to 24 point range, because of the fact that means that they would have the ball for an excessive period of time to keep Breeze off the field.
Yeah.
So is that not in the right way from a good perspective for you?
That is. Hey, listen, I just got here, so I didn't hear.
I'm just letting you know.
So
don't talk over
the
James.
3 things it's going to come down to.
James. He'll shout right over you.
You're gonna, but at least say, I get it. Yeah, we come with a different perspective. I come with a negative side sometimes, or a flip side of the coin.
Sometimes.
I also, but give credit where credit is due, Mark. When something went right, I came out here and I called a spade a spade. I gave them credit where credit is due.
You absolutely did.
That drive in Houston, if this season goes anywhere, you're going to go back to that 4th quarter drive in Houston when the game was 20-15 and where your quarterback took you down the field and earned his paycheck and made enough plays to put you in the end zone, not settle for a field goal and outright win the game. And if he continues to play like that, you can make your run.
Mm-hmm. MYG 3317, what did you want to add to this?
I was just going to say, like, the 3 things it's going to come down to this week is, 1, our defense, stopping Breeze. Like, that's the main thing. He's proven himself time and time again, just like Eli has, in a clutch performance or in a clutch situation, he does perform. And also it's going to come down to obviously our offense scoring points.
Defensively, with this, what's going to be huge for the Giants in this game is to win on 1st and 2nd down defensively, because Peyton wants to run the football. Now you luck out because Ingram's not going to be there, so that's a positive for the Giants. Kamara's strength is not running between the tackles, but what the Saints do a great job of, is throwing the ball on 1st and 2nd down on short routes, creating matchup problems and getting themselves into 3rd and short and good positive situations via the passing game. And a concern for the Giants is going to be matching up in those situations on 1st and 2nd down. Can the linebackers cover? And because you got to get Breeze in 3rd and long. If Breeze is in 3rd and short with Kamara and the weapons they have, you're in trouble.
That is where I do think that the 3-4 compared to the 4-3 helps us out a lot now, though. Last year, we just had the 3 linebackers, and, with the 3-4, you don't have as much pass coverage. You add 1 extra person to pass coverage with 4-3. Or with 3-4.
Yeah, but you want that person to be able to cover them. Like, it's nice having a body back there, but it would be helpful if the guy, what the Saints do, is they put you in matchups where it's a disadvantage for you. So they're going to find ways to get Kamara with Ogletree one-on-one. They're going to find ways. They're going to find ways to do that. And can you stop it?
I think we can.
We all hope so. We all hope so. All right, James, I think it's time for predictions. You want to run down? Me, you, Justin, Tim already fell asleep. Let's see what the predictions.
Oh, we're going straight predictions now?
Yeah, might as well.
Jesus. Justin, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I think that this is a this is a good matchup for the Giants at this point in their season. And the reason that I say that is because New Orleans, in their current defensive state, doesn't blitz a lot. They usually come with the front floor and play a lot of zone underneath. So when the Texans played zone last week, they were able to and sort of pick apart the zone a little bit. And I think the offense will be able to continue to find a rhythm. I think that if the defense can make few key plays like they did against the Texans, I think you could see a scenario where the Giants win the game 31-27. But I also could see a very real scenario where, if we fall out of lockstep early and fall behind, and we're playing catch up and outsling Drew Brees, that works in our favor. But I will say that we continue to build momentum and we win the game 31-27.
Here's my prediction, and here's my gut. I think Eli doesn't throw for more than 200 yards because I think Barkley's going to go off for around 225. I think Barkley is going to go off this game. I really do. I think he's going to go for above $150 at least. I wouldn't be surprised if he flirts with 200. I think he's going to break 2 long runs. And I think that's the way that the Giants need to win the game, is to pound this team into submission, keep Brees off the field. And I think that they can do it with him. And I hope that they take that tact instead of trying to get into a shootout with Brees. I think Barkley puts them in a position where this Saints team, you can pound them into submission. Barkley goes off. Giants win 24-19. Get to 2-2.
All right,
2-2, which is what we wanted.
That's right. It's exactly what we wanted, Dustin. That's why this game is so huge. That's why I'm not going to get sold on. We've said it, like, we're not going to get high, too low. Like, get to 2-2. So we didn't throw the white flags in at 0-2.
Right.
We spoke truthfully about what was going on and what needed to happen. We said they needed to get better play from the quarterback. Quarterback showed up in week 3 and played his balls off. Here we are. Get to 2-2.
So I would like to call both of you assholes for putting me in this position. I think the Giants are going to drop this game. 5 out of the past 6 years, we haven't seen Eli Manning play back-to-back games where he's looked exceptional like he has. This team needs him to play exceptional season, not sporadically. I don't think the Giants are going to get blown out. We're not going to get embarrassed. I think we're going to lose a tough one, though. Fall 1-3. It's going to be a rough year. We definitely wanted to get to 2-2. I don't think it's happening this week. I don't think we're going to.
How about that? Marco, you're so negative.
So negative. I got, unfortunately, New Orleans. I'll give them 27, Giants 24. But I'd love to be wrong. How about that? I think that's it. Does anyone have any other parting words before we jump off this podcast?
No.
That's about it, right? Are we liking the Discord? So far, so good. Yeah, we got to get sound effects and all the other shit on there. All right, everyone. We will talk to you.
No, definitely not.
Oh, definitely not?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sold.
We'll convince you. All right, everyone. Peace out.